Mula sa mga mapanuring pelikula na sumasalamin sa mga nakatagong realidad ng Pilipinas, hanggang sa mga likha tungkol sa mayaman at masasabing komplikadong kasaysayan ng bansa. Patuloy na pinapatunayan ni Lab Diaz kung bakit siya hinirang na ideological father of the new Philippine cinema. Kilalanin natin ang batikang direktor sa likod ng historical epic na Magellan, dito lang sa Power Talks. Direk Lab, naku, magandang araw po sa inyo and maraming salamat at pinaunlakan nyo kami ngayong araw na ito.
Ngayong araw po. Great to be here.
Thank you for coming all the way here to our little setup. Kararating nyo lang galing Malaysia po.
Oo, tumambay lang sa Malaysia. We attended the ASEAN International Film Festival.
Okay. 2% Magellan po ba?
They banned Magellan.
Ah.
Yun yung opening film but because of Sharia law, they didn't realize na the whole film, puro hubad na Pilipino noon, so they couldn't show it because of the Islamic law. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So what happened pagpunta nyo doon?
Paglapag sa Kuala Lumpur, nalaman namin na, hindi na tuloy yung opening screening because of the Sharia law. So, yeah. We have to respect that. Islamic law.
Okay.
Okay naman yun.
Okay lang. So, pero nagkaroon pa rin po ba kayo ng discussions about the film or yung mga...
Hindi na.
Wala na.
Binigyan ako ng Lifetime Achievement Award sa festival.
Oh,
so,
congratulations!
Yung binigay nilang plaque, naibenta ko na sa magbabakal. So, may kinita ako ng konti.
Yung bang ginagawa yun sa mga...
3 kilos siya, so naka 150 pesos ako. No, thank
sobrang detalyado na hindi ko alam kung maniniwala ko.
Thank you, Arpa, for the award. It's okay.
Well, we do know, Direk Lab, that you are an award-winning director, of course, and so much of your work has already been awarded, recognized, hindi na dito sa Pilipinas, kundi pati na rin sa ibang bansa. So, kami tuwang-tuwa at makakausap po namin kayo ngayong araw. And syempre, yung film that's really making a lot of noise recently is Magellan, kasi it's in the running as an entry for the Oscars. Ano po pakiramdam nun?
Yeah, for the country, it's great, you know. Wala pa tayong pelikula kasi na nakapasok man lang sa Oscars, kahit sa first base, so to speak, na ma-shortlist. Wala pang shortlist sa Pilipinas. Hindi naman ibig sabihin, mahina yung films natin. We lack support. We don't have the money. Kasi it's a campaign thing to be shortlisted. Sa ibang bansa, they're spending $15 million dollars. Campaign pa lang yun. Sa atin, we're spending how much? 500,000 pesos? 1 million pesos. So, yeah, hindi... With Magellan, we got lucky kasi kinuha siya ng Janus Films. It's a big distribution company in North America. So, nabawas na yung load ng promotion. So, they're doing their own campaign, Janus Films, sa North America. I was there 3 weeks ago, na-involved sa New York Film Festival yung film, and we did some promotions there. And then sa LA, may mga screenings sa AFI, Santa Barbara. Binala kong sumayaw sana pero ayaw nila just to promote it. But yeah, it's for the country, you know. To be very honest, hindi naman natin kailangan Oscars para magkaroon ng affirmation yung works ng Filipino filmmakers. But yeah, it's for the country, yeah. Suntok sa buwan, but we try, we campaign. Yeah.
When you say you campaign, that the films have to campaign.
It's really campaigning. Oscars is campaigning. Para sa eleksyon. You deal with the industry people, with the Hollywood artists, the mga union doon, pinapakain sila, may mga screenings ka. Voting member ako eh.
Okay.
So you receive these invitations, mga VIP things. So
para mapanood yung film, para it's top of mind.
Matandaan nila yung pelikula. Come voting time. So ganun lang yan. It's a campaign thing. Electoral siya. Kasi yung nangyari, may mga film academies sa mga bawat country, no? So it's been nominated by the Film Academy of the Philippines to represent the country. Andun pa lang tayo sa nomination. So the next step is shortlist na. Doon pa lang campaign na election na yun.
And ito yung nalalaman ng December.
December 16 yata. Middle of December.
Okay. So parang yung pagkaka-describe nyo, parang whatever accolade the film will get, for you, it's not
a personal thing. It's really more for the country. Parang
dapat
sa'yo, hindi na importante
It's
personally.
for the country. It's for Philippine cinema. It's for the Filipino pride.
But ano ho yung nag-udyok sa'yo na gawin itong particular na film na ito, itong Magellan?
Well, it's us. We're so connected with the Magellan narrative. Doon nag-umpisa yung Katolisismo nung dumating siya noong 1521. That was the start of the Filipino conversion. Mga animist tayo noon, we became Christians, so to speak. Parang, ang laking bagay yung nabalikan yun. Kasi yung pagiging Kristiyano ng Pilipinas, it started in Cebu in March of the 16th century.
Mas mahirap po ba sa inyo to tackle a film that's historical in nature, that has so much of itself rooted in what we learned in school?
Hindi naman. If you do your homework, meaning you do your research, parang simpleng buhay lang siya. Madali. It's a period film, pero I did my research for 7 years. So, buong-buo, when we started shooting the film, things come handy naman. The information that I got, researching for 7 years. So, madali lang siya. Hindi siya mahirap actually. Mahirap sa mga manggagawa to work 6 months, in the mud, in the waters, in the cold, living with snakes and mosquitoes. So, yun yung mahirap. Laging kawawa yung mga manggagawa. And you have to take care of them.
When you say you did your research for 7 years, yung 7 years na yun, talagang, when you started doing your research,
basa. A lot of information. You get everything about Magellan.
Because you were
Pati
really...
yung kanta ni Yoyo, you have to dissect the song. Research is that. Ganun sa comprehensive. Encompassing siya.
And parang dinescribe niyo yung pagdating ni Magellan in your film as parang messianic. Is it because of...
Well, part of it. Maraming angulo yan It's still about the human condition at the end of the day. Yung mga issues nila, issues pa hanggang ngayon. Greed, plunder, the trauma of colonization. Lahat yun.
Oh, sounds familiar.
It's internecine amongst tribes. And, the conflicts, the big issue about Islam and Christianity, it's the same. And you go back to the prophecy of Pepe Rizal, Jose Rizal. Sabi niya, if you read his essay, the Filipino a century hence, ganun pa rin. Corrupt, tamad, kailangan baguhin yan. It's still the same.
So, when you say na, parang, di ba, 7 years of research, para sa'yo, it did not even feel like 7 years?
No.
Parang
I was accumulating knowledge. Importante yun pag may ginagawa ka Kailangan may armado ka ng kaalaman, ng kamalayan ng mga panahon na yun. But I just want to do a Magellan using the popular narrative of Pigafetta, the way we read in the books. Kasi once you start investigating researching, it will become dialectical na. Dami mo na lang nalalaman na, hindi na-mention to, hindi nakita to. So you see details, you see nuances na mababago yung naratibo. Ang dami palang hindi nilagay. Ang dami nilagay. You just go to the civil archive. Andun lahat yun. 15 million pages of the 16th century. Andun lahat yun. So and you see a lot of things na hindi pala nalagay sa mga naratibo na conventional. The orthodoxy of reading itong naratibo na ibinigay ng West sa atin. It's not even true lahat.
So kayo mismo, you went through the documents and the archives?
Dapat. Hindi ko gagawin yung Magellan kung hindi ako nagbasa. Importante yun. Enthusiasm, passion. And ultimately, to educate our people. Importante yun. If you do a historical material, at the end of the day, you go for the truth of that period, of that epoch. Which means, balikan natin yung kasaysayan, examine the past, confront the past. And beyond that, it's educating our people about our history. Importante yun. That's the goal.
What were some of the biggest challenges you ever encountered in producing and creating your films?
Venue to show the films, ang hirap din. Pagpapalabas, paano maabutin ang masses. At the same time, hindi mo rin pwedeng i-compromise yung trabaho mo para maabot sila. Don't compromise the work. Ang laki ng that conundrum, yung educating people, and at the same time, you're not reaching them. That's a big problem. We're addressing that. Lumalapit kami sa masses, we show the films, or we invite them to watch the films. Pero systemic kasi issue sa atin eh. We don't have cinematheques. You go to France, to other parts, hanggang sa barrio may cinematheque. So people can watch cinemas. So we need to create a structure then. Structural din yan eh. So okay lang na gumagawa ng magagandang pelikula, pero sana may sistema rin na at some point na structurally, systemic siya na, may mga simbahan ng cinema rin where people can go and watch and educate themselves. Kasi maraming pelikulang Pilipino na magaganda na hindi naabot yung bayan.
Parang kailangan rin natin tandaan na kailangan gamitin ang pelikula as an educational tool, not just as a tool for entertainment.
Dalhin sa universities, kasi elementary pa dapat tinuturuan na yun. Pasok na sa sining. Kahit philosophy, dapat ituro na eh. Ethics, it's important. Hindi lang yung ABC. Ethics, paano respetuhin ang nanay at tatay mo, paano tumawid sa kalsada. How do you respect the works of Jose Rizal? Ethical ko yan eh. Ethical education is more important than having the ABCs na ibinigay sa atin American system. No, wala yun.
What was it like working with everyone on the film? I mean, si Magellan was played by Gael Garcia Bernal. What was that like?
Naging psychiatrist ako. If you work in a production, just like this setup, nagiging psychiatrist ka, you're dealing with individuals. Iba-ibang idiosyncrasies ng mga tao. From the actors to the utility guy, they're all the same. Iba-ibang personahe yan. Iba-ibang mentalidad dyan. So you work around those things. Ang hirap gumawa ng pelikula kasi hindi lang yung aesthetics nung ginagawa mo, kundi you're dealing with 50 people, 100 people, or 10 people, and actors, may diva dyan, may okay. So,
sino yung diva?
Lahat. Na psychiatrics yun. So, which means, you can work around these things naman. So, ganun lang. You understand them. You understand the human nature.
I imagine parang tatay ka rin on set? Or kapatid, tatay, kapatid,
Cook din.
Cook din. Lahat na talaga.
You're doing everything.
Cook, doktor.
Doktor, yeah.
Oh, but I read also that you do enjoy all the different aspects of it. So lahat talaga sinusubukan mo. Ikaw rin magka-camera. Ikaw rin magpo-production design, editing.
Yes, and the material script. I write the script.
By choice ba ito? Kasi gusto mo very hands-on ka talaga sa
ginagawa. Yes,
ginagawa.
I want creative control. Pero hindi creative control na pasista ka. Hindi. Yung creative control, you're giving a lot of freedom to all the threads that come in. From the writing, to the editing, to dealing with the actors, to dealing with the crew. So yun yung ibang klaseng creative control yun. You're open to dialogue. Very Socratic siya. Ganun.
So we were going through all our research materials. Tapos nakalagay ng one of your quirks also is that you don't use a smartphone. Totoo po ba yun? Hindi kayo nagsasmartphone? Or wala kayong social media?
Ano yung cellphone ko? Nokia. Small one.
Old school. Analog.
Yeah.
Hindi naman analog.
Analog pa rin.
Analog pa rin. Ayan. Oo nga, very old school ang cellphone.
Very useful siya sa pag may magnanakaw, ibabato mo.
At ibabalik pa sa'yo.
Ganong klase, ibabalik sa'yo. Maawa sa'yo. And then, okay.
Pero bakit po kaya hindi sa smartphone? By choice po yun?
I can understand the use of smartphones. Mahalaga siya sa panahon ngayon. It's, lalo, we should embrace technology. Pero my mind works differently. Nairita ako sa masyadong mabibilis na information and a lot of things. Nawawala ako sa focus. Yun lang naman. Pero naniniwala ako sa smartphone, just sa cellphone.
Pero wala talaga kayong social media accounts?
Wala.
Pero meron bang nagsasabi sa'yo what's on social media?
Sila, kasama ko, mga kaibigan, kinukwento nila, inaatake ka. Okay, good.
Yun lang yung ano nun. Para, yun lang ang purpose nun. Para alam mo kung ano yung sinasabi nila.
Yan, may information. Kung ano nangyayari kay Derek at kay Ellen. So, those things. Chismoso rin ako.
At least kasi we have to be socially aware then. Socially aware talaga yung term. Pero, Direk, with your entire body of work, when we look at it, napakalawak ng body of work ninyo. Ibig sabihin, matagal na po kayo talaga sa industriya. Ito po ba ang lagi ninyong ginustong gawin? Bata pa lang kayo, gusto niyo na maging director?
It came naturally kasi lumaki ako sa lugar na ang entertainment, ang gawain lang is cinema. Kasi nasa kabundukan kami ng Maguindanao. Teachers yung parents ko, social workers. And then weekends, we go to this town, Tacorong. May 4 na sinihan. Yun lang ang namin. So, there's a lot of that. Yung 8 movies a week,
Na.
napapanood. Kasi double programs noon eh.
So, papanoorin nyo lahat on a
Yung
weekend?
tatay ko addict sa cinema, so gano'n.
Okay.
So it came naturally nung
Mhm.
nung gumagawa ako na ng material for cinema, mga scripts for teleplays, and then eventually I was given the chance to be a director. So,
Mhm.
yun. Ginawa
Lumaki
ko
po
na.
kayo sa Maguindanao?
Maguindanao, yun.
Oh.
Sa
And then,
Dato Paglas, Maguindanao.
okay. So, parents po ninyo, doon din pinanganak?
No, from Visayas yung nanay ko, and then from Ilocos,
Oh,
Nueva Ecija yung
layo.
tatay ko. Nag-volunteer sila nung inopen ni Magsaysay ang Mindanao for pioneering and for education. This was the 50s.
So, they were one of the first few teachers
Mga
doon?
college graduates sila, and then boom, sumama sila sa pagbubukas ng Mindanao. They call it the pioneering days.
Mhm.
Na wala pang mga kalsada noon. So young people, nag-volunteer sila to work there. And they stayed, yeah.
Paano i-describe yung growing up? What was it like growing up doon sa Maguindanao?
Madilim, walang kuryente until nag-college ako.
Mhm.
Halos walang kalsada. We cross rivers going to school. Naguhubad kami ng damit kasi kailangan
Lalagay supot.
balutin mo yung supot yung damit. So, ganon. Nire-resent ko nung bata ako, pero nung malaki na ako, grateful ako na lumaki ako sa ganon. Kasama na, tumitira kami sa indigenous peoples eh. Social workers yung parents ko.
Mhm.
So we live with the Bilaans, the Manobos, the Bagobos, the Magindanaos. They were building small schools sa area na yon. Yan.
Oh.
So yun yung setup ng childhood ko.
May mga kapatid po kayo direct?
Mm.
Kayo po ba ay panganay, bunso?
Gitna ako.
Gitna. So, very close po ba kayo ng mga kapatid nyo?
Yeah.
Given
Mga teachers lahat.
Oh, so kayo lang, well, I mean, teacher din kayo, but in a very different way.
Yeah.
So, sabi niyo po, so yung love niyo for film, nakuha niyo sa tatay po ninyo.
Kasi grabe siya manood ng pelikula.
So, bumababa kayo ng takron, talagang para lang manood ng pelikula?
Yeah. So yung visual cortex ng brain mo, it's all about cinema. It's a brain, it's all black and white. Yung Hong Kong movies, Filipino slapstick, Filipino cowboy, spaghetti western. Napapanood namin lahat yun.
So parang you really did follow the footsteps of your parents kasi sabi niyo they're teachers and that's exactly
social
what you're doing now.
Sila, yeah.
Social worker.
And teachers.
And teaching.
Public school teachers sila.
Oo.
Ang parents ko lang naman, tinuro lang nila is the issue of commitment and sacrifice. They sacrificed their lives living with the indigenous people. So, they didn't seek comfort. Ang sa kanila, to be able to see a real Filipino nation is to involve everybody. Bakit napapabayaan mo indigenous peoples? So they went to the mountains and educated the indigenous peoples, telling them that you're part of this so-called Filipino nation. That's sa akin commitment, yun ginawa nila. It's a big sacrifice. Tumira kami sa mga kagubatan at kabundukan with the indigenous peoples, living with the mud, the snakes, and the mosquitoes. When we can have comfort here in Manila, they can have good jobs here.
Sabi niyo you had parang some sort of resentment when you were a child.
Siyempre, hindi mo maunawaan. Bakit nandito kami sa katabi mo ahas, magising ka may ahas sa kubo ninyo. Tapos dadalaw ka sa mga kamag-anak ninyo sa Manila o sa Luzon. They have air condition, may mga refrigerator sila, may kuryente. We didn't have those until college.
So, kailan niyo po naintindihan na parang,
when I got to college, siyempre, naunawa ko, kaya pala. Kasi sabi ng tatay ko, pag nagre-reklamo kami, paglaki niyo, maunawaan niyo kung bakit natin ginagawa ito. That's the word. Tama na yan.
Ano po yung parang, would you say, pinakamalaking regalo na nakuha niyo from your parents?
Yeah, the issue of sacrifice. If you want change, magsasakripisyo ka. Alisin mo yung self, yung ego.
Ilan taon pa yung mga anak niyo, direct?
Well, matatanda na rin sila.
Wala ho.
I was a young father. 19 pa lang may anak na ako.
None of them got into the arts?
Painter yung eldest ko.
Okay. Pero hindi film?
Hindi, pintas ba?
Pero nung nag-college po kayo, hindi po film ang kinuha ninyo?
Economics.
Oo nga ho. Economics. So, bakit economics ang napili ninyo nung time na yon?
Hindi ko nga rin alam. I wanna do music.
Okay.
Pupunta sana ako sa UP School of Music. And then, sabi ng tatay ko, being the practical guy, sabi niya, ang musika naman, natural yan na darating sa'yo kasi musikero ka. Magaling kang gumawa ng kanta, tumugtog. So sabi niya, darating yan later. Get a proper proper course down din para magkatrabaho ka. Walang buhay ang mga artists coming from
Sakit,
me.
no?
Yan ang sinabi niya sa akin. So, sinunod ko yun.
Mhm.
Yan.
So, tinapos niyo po yung economics.
Yes, I finished it. Yeah.
And then, so how
Hindi
did
ko rin nagamit.
Pag nagbabudget kayo ng film?
Yun, nagagamit ko lang pag alam kong hindi ako nababayaran sa cinema. So,
May practical use din siya.
yeah.
Naalala niyo po ba kung ano yung first film job niyo?
PA. Nagawa ko lahat. PA,
Mhm.
script, continuity,
Aha.
designer, AD, nagawa ko lahat.
So after graduation, di ba graduate kayo from Notre Dame na economics? Ah, diretso PA na kayo, hindi pa?
No. Nagtrabaho pa ako sa dyaryo. Sulat-sulat din ako. Ayun.
Oh, okay. Reporter?
Yeah.
As in, lumalabas kayo, nagko-cover
Naging beat
kayo?
reporter ako.
May something in common pala tayo. Correct. Police beat ba yan?
Police beat, yeah.
Oo, pareho
police
pala
beat.
tayo.
Northern Police District, yeah.
Okay.
Mga-
Saan sa Manila?
Northern Police District.
Northern,
Quezon
okay.
City, yeah.
Okay.
Mga patay, mga away ng mga
Oo.
mag-asawa.
Titingin ka sa blotter,
Oo.
maghahanap ng storya.
Yeah.
Oo.
Andun sa bulletin.
Mm.
Kukuryentihin ka ng mga kasama mo. Mali pala yung sinulat mo.
Okay.
I did film criticism. I did music criticism sa Jingle Core Book Magazine. Dinaanan ko lahat yun.
Oh, okay. Pero dito po kayo talaga nagstay sa film.
It came naturally. Okay na.
Nung nagtatrabaho na kayo, halimbawa,
Mhm.
first job niyo as a reporter, tapos later on in
Mhm.
film, ano po sabi ng father niyo? Gusto nga po niya practical course.
Sabi ko lang haba. Maghihirap ka talaga. Yeah, poverty breeds so many things. Pero sa akin, gusto ko yon kasi mas naunawaan kong tula. The human condition.
All right. And parang it changed your perspective on many things?
Yes. It keeps changing. Yeah. Mas bumubukas siya lagi. Hindi nababara ng materialismo.
Parang marami kasi maraming kabataan ngayon, gusto nilang pumasok sa industriya ng pelikula, industriya ng television, or any artistic industry, pero yung mga magulang nila mismo ang parang umaayaw kasi nga sinasabi nila magiging mahirap ang buhay ninyo. Anong gusto niyo sabihin doon sa mga kabataan tsaka yung mga magulang nila?
Lahat ng pagbabago nagsisimula sa revolusyon.
Sa bahay.
In all aspects of life. Lalo ngayon, what's happening in the country, come on. The whole setup is so dysfunctional now. Come on. Only a radical change can change the whole setup.
Direct na banggit niyo yung what's happening in the country now. And a lot of people say na parang the arts and politics, parang you can't help but, somehow your worlds collide at one point.
Yeah.
Ano po ba sa tingin niyo dapat ang papel ng mga nasa artistic industry, cinema or...
Isa lang naman edukasyon. To educate our people. Yun lang naman. Sa akin, yun lang naman ang nakikita kong trabaho ko as a cultural worker, as a filmmaker, to educate our people through the medium of cinema. It's a small contribution, pero I try my best to create something na pag napanood ng isang Pilipino, may mababago sa pananaw niya, may mababago sa pakiramdam niya. It's a work that should be transcendent lagi. It can change you. Kahit konti lang.
Do you personally feel a personal responsibility to educate?
Yes.
So, etong lahat ng nangyayari sa ating bansa ngayon, the flood control, tapos mga kaliwat ka ng Senate hearing, statements na nilalabas sa Facebook or kung saan man social media, is this inspiring you or pushing you to create another film that will educate our people in time for, let's say, elections?
Yes, of course. Laging inspiration yan. Yung kondisyon ng bayan. The Filipino struggle naman lagi ang pundasyon ng mga trabaho namin. If you're a real cultural worker, then it's all about the Filipino struggle. You work on that.
Very different, direct yung pagkaka-describe ninyo nung trabaho na ginagawa ninyo. Kasi usually when we interview, people in the film industry, it's very, parang yung lifestyle nila is glamorous. Tapos yung parang very Hollywood, kumbaga.
Kasama yun.
Oo.
Ang galing mawala dun.
So, ang iniisip ko, kapag may mga batang manood or, the young people, they watch this episode and then they listen to what you're saying, it's a very different lifestyle that you're describing. Paano mo sila i-enganyo to do the same as you?
Siguro, pauri lang nila yung mga pelikula. Lumabas sila sa kalsada. Understand our people more. It's easy. Lumabas ka lang dito sa GMA, walk in the streets here. may nagtutulak ng kariton. There's our history. Sa nagtutulak ng kariton, mahihimay mo na yung kasaysayan ng bayan eh. Bakit si Mang Nano nagtutulak ng kariton? And you'll know kung bakit siya andun. Just go back to our history, examine the past, confront the past, and you'll know bakit walang bahay si Mang Nano. Yung asawa niya at anak nasa kariton. And then, it's dangerous din na may awareness na hindi ka gumagalaw. There's the two kinds of empathy. Yung empathy na you're aware but you're not acting. Ang tamang empathy is, may awareness ka, gumalaw ka rin, do something. To change that situation.
But when you look at your body of work, Direk, is it, pwede ba namin tanongin kung meron kang favorite or para ba yung parang pinagpili ka namin ng paboritong anak? Or...
No, I consider all the works as one film lang naman.
That's an interesting way of looking at it.
Pinagdudugtong lang. Yung trabaho mo, isang trabaho lang talaga yun. Iba-ibang titles lang, iba-ibang genres maybe, iba-iba yung durational nila. Pero it's just one work for me.
How many years na po kayo, Direk, in total sa industry? Binibilang niyo po ba
I
yun?
started doing cinema mid-90s.
Malaki-laking body of work na yun, Direk, no?
Parang kulang pa sa akin. You know? But every time I make cinema naman, parang okay, tinatapos ko lang yung kulang na nagawa ko. So, and then you feel limited, you feel parang kulang. May ganung feeling lagi na, yeah. Actually, it goes with the, the randomness of life, na parang you wake up, malungkot ka, you wake up empty, so you have to work again, move again, do exercise, eat some food to nourish your body, read some books to nourish your soul. Ganon lagi proseso naman. It's the same with my works, with my cinema. Lagi kong, saan ba pupunta ito?
Pag tinitingnan niyo po yung mga nagawa niyo, may nakikita rin po ba kayo na parang mga bagay na sinakripisyo ninyo in order to produce those films?
Yes, of course. Dapat may 6 na akong Mercedes ngayon kung nag-TV commercial ako. May 2 mansions na siguro ako. So, you look back na hindi naman mali yung ginawa ko. Pero you're looking at my kids, parang sana mas may comfort ako na ibigay siguro kung hindi ako naging matigas naging stubborn sa aesthetics ko, pananaw ko. Laging may ganun naman. Hindi naman nawawala.
Direk, sabi niyo kanina na meron din kayo mga ginawang short films, pero mas kilala kayo for your longer films. And when we say long, umaabot siya ng more than 8 hours.
The longest is 10 hours, 45 minutes.
10 hours and 45 minutes. When you were creating your longest film, may idea na kayo na abot siya ng 10 hours and 45?
Hindi. Pag nag-shoot naman ako, wala yung duration. I just shoot until tingin ko okay na siya.
So, nagulat kayo na umabot siya ng 10 hours 45?
Ako rin nagulat. 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours. Minsan, sa dami ng sinut mo, kailangan lang pala 1 minute lang siya. So it's okay. Ganun siya.
So meron ka rin 1 minute film?
Meron 1 minute, may 2 minutes, may 5 minutes.
Pero some people say that they call it slow cinema, di ba? Yung pag mahaba yung
dahil lang naman
pelikula.
Mahaba sa slow
okay,
cinema.
slow. What's your take on that? Even on the term slow cinema?
Label lang nila yun Sa opinion nila yun. Pero it's not slow cinema.
Because there's action.
Malaya ang sining So, hindi lang naman yung modelo, yung paradigm ng Hollywood ang cinema. Lawak na. At saka ang bata pa ng cinema para i-confine sa 2 oras lang, sa cut to cuts, sa color, sa manipulative sound. Ang bata pa ng cinema. Lumalaki pa lang siya. Now we have AI, we have vertical cinema na ang dami nang lumalabas. So we embrace development, the revolution, the evolution of the medium. Dapat i-embrace yan. Huwag lang siyang confined sa very imposing and fascistic Hollywood system. Yun kasi sinusunod na paradigm. Dapat wasakin yun. Para mapalaya lalo ang cinema. And ultimately, maging kasama sa tinatawag nating pag-educate.
Direk, sabi niyo 10 hours, 45 minutes yung longest film niyo. Pero ano yung longest work period niyo for a film?
The same film, Evolution of a Filipino Family. 11 years kong sinushoot yun.
11 years, okay.
Kasi wala akong pera. Every time na may pera, shoot. Every time na may camera isang kaibigan, hiramin ko, shoot. Ganon. So it took me 10 years to be able to finish that.
Naisip niyo ba at any point, Direk, to maybe do other, yung mga high-paying projects, like maybe commercials, ganyan?
Yeah, I was offered before, TV commercials, pero nataon naman yung mga ginagawa ko. Inofferan ako ng napakalaking contract, no? Pero sabi ko, no, may mga gagawin pa ako.
What kinds of projects yung mga talagang hindi nyo gagawin?
Wala naman. Open din ako sa mga genres. I can do horror, I can do slapstick comedy, I can do action. Okay naman. Pero kailangan may creative control nga eh. Kailangan yung kamalayan nung gagawin mo, iyo. Hindi imposed by producers, hindi imposed by other perspectives. Otherwise, you're gonna lose your soul.
You mentioned kanina na with the influx of AI, ganyan, with different kinds of technology, you just have to embrace it.
Embrace natin.
But you mean the tools, di ba, pagdating sa editing, ganyan. Pero paano pagdating dun sa mga AI actors or mga AI generated scripts?
Kasama yun sa whole package. You talk about AI cinema later. Pwede nang buhayin sila Fernando Polo eh. Darating doon ang cinema. Darating doon. Mabubuhay ulit sila ni De Blanca. Kahit hindi pa nasasolve yung case niya.
Magkakaroon siya ng isa pang pelikula. Gano'n, hindi pa na...
At siya mismo ang isasolve niya yung cold case na naunang Bianca ni De Blanca. Could be that. You know, nag-evolve pa ang cinema. It's still very young. It's still just 100 years. So, it's a very young cinema, very powerful. It keeps evolving. So we have to embrace things. So
that thought does not scare you or make you apprehensive?
No. Maganda nga eh. It's opening. It's moving. Moving. Gumagalaw siya.
Kasi siguro a lot of the apprehension stems from the fact na may kapalit eh, na parang mawawala ng trabaho yung ibang mga tao.
Naman araw-araw. You keep changing, no? Things keep changing. So, wala kang magagawa talaga. You have to embrace it. Kung may nag-open na thread, pasukin mo, then see paano pwedeng magagawa.
Nakagamit na po kayo ng AI already in any of your films?
Hindi pa. Pero I've been to, I work as a jury member sa isang AI competition. And they look good. They're promising.
Oo nga po.
Crude pa yung mga napanood ko, pero nakikita mo yung kung saan pupunta ang cinema. Isang genre yan, isang aspeto ng cinema na lalaki. Kailangan tanggapin yun.
Nagkaroon ng isang soft drink commercial recently that was purely AI.
Diba?
Parang mixed reactions eh. Sabi ng ibang tao parang nawala yung puso, nawala yung warmth.
Ganun naman sa umpisa. When digital came, lahat walang puso ang digital. Ngayon, we're all in digital. Ganun naman sa same. Bahagi ako ng purist movement na celluloid kami. We're not gonna do digital, nire-resent namin. Pero after a while, nakita ko yung gamit. Magagawa ko pala yung mahaba kong pelikula dito. So it came naturally, and then narespeto ko yung gamit itong bagong medium. Makikita mo na may binibigay na bago. Yun, that's the point. You know, AI is coming and ang dami niyang positive aspects na pwedeng, mag-work talaga sa cinema.
Direct, parang the title of our show is Power Talks, di ba? Kasi nga, we speak with very powerful icons and figures. Para po sa inyo, ano po ba ang totoong kapangyarihan?
Humility is real power. Yung pagpapakumbaba, yan yung pinaka-powerful na attribute ng tao. They go back to the great personas na nabuhay sa mundo. Cristo, si Buddha, si Muhammad, Ho Chi Minh, Jose Rizal. Ang bottom line, ang pinaka-powerful na attribute nila, pagpapakumbaba, humility. Mahalaga yun. Destroy the pride, destroy the ego, and things will be okay.
Such a powerful message on humility considering ang dami nyo ng pagkilala.
Wala yun.
At this point, Direk, ano po pa ba ang mga parang objectives niyo or goals niyo?
Wala naman. Gusto ko rin contribute pa rin ng kahit konti sa, again, going back to education. Yun lang naman ang konto. To help educate our people. Magbigay lang ng konting ambag, okay na ako. May cinema, maybe may maliit na ambag sa bayan, okay na ako doon.
Direk, dito naman tayo sa Confessions of an Icon, kung saan aalamin namin kung ano ba talaga ang tumatakbo sa isip ng isang Direk Love Diaz. Okay, so, first Confessions of an Icon question natin, Direk. Ano ang paborito niyong pelikula?
Maynila sa Kuko ng Liwanag, Lino Broca.
Pinanood niyo sa sinehan?
It was assigned by our professor sa Panitikan. Napanood namin sa Coronet, dito sa Cubao. Nabago yung pananaw ko sa cinema. Pwede palang gamitin ito sa cultural work, ang cinema. Hindi lang sa entertainment. That changed the whole thing for me. Nagkaroon ng halaga sa akin na cinema. Because of Maynila sa Kuko ng Liwanag.
Anong ginagawa niyo, Direk, during your free time?
Nagbabasa, nagsusulat. Yeah.
Parang work pa rin yun, research pa rin.
Palakad-lakad, naghanap ng libro, ganun usually yung trabaho. Or pupunta sa mga guitar shops.
Guitar. Okay.
Kasi hindi ko kaya yung mga presyo, tinitingnan ko lang sila. Hello. One day bibilhin kita. Pero wala yun.
Mahilig po ba kayo sa sports, Direk?
Yeah, I love the NBA, tennis, gusto kong panoorin.
Okay.
Yun.
Yung kayo
Baseball.
naglalaro?
Basketball. Naglalaro ng
Okay.
basketball.
Okay. Forward ba kayo, Direk? Point guard, forward?
Dinala ko center pero hindi ako tumatangkad. Pero point guard noon. Yeah.
Point guard. Yun ang pinakamahirap na trabaho.
At saka pag ikaw yung pinakamaliit, di ba?
Pero ikaw nagmamando ng lahat. Very director.
Playmaker ka. Playmaker.
Ikaw yung director doon. How about ang mga bagay na hindi dapat nawawala sa routine mo?
Gitara. Pagising gitara. Pagising aklat. Yun. 3 glasses of water. Yun lang. Tatlong yan.
3 glasses of water talaga?
3
Kailangan
glasses 3 glasses to 4 glasses. I learned that from a Japanese guy na he survived cancer by just drinking water. Pero pagising na pagising, sabi niya, you drink for maligamgam na tubig, 4 glasses to actually 6 to 8 glasses. It will cleanse you talaga. Sabi niya, and walk. Sabi niya, you don't need medicine, anything, it's just the water. Pinaka-pure na medicine daw ang tubig. That I learned from a Japanese guy na nakausap ko.
So yung 3 to 4 glasses, sa umaga pa lang yun? Tapos
Yes,
syempre
pagising na
throughout the day?
pagising mo. Hanggang ngayon, naging practice ko.
Okay.
It's good.
Ano po yung isang bagay na laging bit-bit kahit saan ka man magpunta? Hindi siguro cellphone.
Ngayon, sombrero dahil nakakalbo na ako ng konti. Black t-shirt.
Signature look.
Hindi naman bit-bit pero andyan. Kasi kahit 10 araw mo lang suot, hindi alam na marumi na pala. So, gano'n.
Ilang araw na ba ito, Direk?
It's a cheat. Cheating eh. Gano'n. Suot ko pa sa Kuala Lumpur. Kuching ito. You see? Di ba? Nilagyan ko lang ng kung ano. Okay na. Yeah.
Hindi namin nahalata.
Kaya bit-bit, siguro, figuratively, pag bit-bit yung, may bit-bit kang laging ko na things will be alright. You know, pakiramdam. That kind of transcendent na pakiramdam na kahit na ang dilim ng kalagayan natin, ang lungkot ng paligid, pero kailangan may ganun ko. Paglilinang sa soul na magiging okay pa rin lahat. We just work on it. Yun ang bit-bit sa akin na tama. That hope. I don't want to use the word hope, pero kailangan hawakan natin yun.
Mas okay ngayon.
Bit-bitin natin yun. Ang sama na nangyari, but things will be alright. We just keep holding on to it.
Yun yung kailangan lahat tayo may bit-bit na gano'n.
Bit-bit na gano'n, yeah. Bit-bitin natin yung kaluluwa natin towards that.
Eto, Direk, last question na. Immune pa ba kayo sa pagiging kilig pagdating sa mga awards or recognition? Like, I mean, for example, kunwari, if you have to walk an Oscars red carpet, hindi ba kayo kikiligin nun, Direk?
Hindi naman yun ang goal ng cinema ko kasi sa akin, okay, these are affirmations of what you do, but at the end of the day, it's not the end goal and be all end of it. Para sa akin, kasama yun, pero mas sa education side ako sa cultural work talaga. Okay, thank you sa Oscar nod kung makapasok man tayo, pero it's for the country. Not for the ego, no.
But nasa starstruck po ba kayo kapag may mga nakikilala kayo in film fests abroad?
Siguro minsan din. Pag makikita kong muli na buo na yung Beatles ulit, maybe. Yeah. patay na si Lennon at Harrison.
Oo nga eh, oo.
So, hindi na mabubuo yung
Kasi
kilig.
kahit si Paul McCartney, ang makita
I
nyo.
wanna see the last tour of McCartney. Kaya
Oo.
lang, ang mahal ng ticket. So,
Hindi siya kasi pumupunta dito.
hindi dadaan sa atin.
Direct, we can tell na you also are a musician at heart.
Hindi na yeah. I couldn't even play na masyado kasi may arthritis yung 3 fingers kasi I couldn't play the guitar.
Okay. Direct Love, thank you so much
salamat.
for sharing all that with us. Actually, nafe-feel ko nga yung humility ninyo while speaking to you. Kasi parang bago kayo dumating, syempre lahat kami kinakabahan, Direct Love, internationally acclaimed. Pero you're so down to earth, so easy to speak with. Maraming salamat po for sharing your time with us. Thank you so much.
Salamat.
Thank you very much, Direct Love.
Salamat.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and download Power Talks with PR Kanghel on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, GMA Integrated News streaming platforms, or wherever you listen. To the next episode.